The last time I stood on this stage was BIF-2, and I told a happy, sad story, and a story about modality, and about how content lives in new spaces. And it was a sad story because I was telling a story about a company I started called TuneBooks. And TuneBooks basically was a digital liner note that lived inside iTunes. And I told the story about how I went and sold it to all the labels, and then basically had gotten this thing living in iTunes. And when I mean digital liner note, I mean that when you download an album, for a long time you never got anything. And I built a little idea of how content could live in that space. And it was essentially a little flash movie that lived inside QuickTime, and sold it to the labels. The labels liked it. It got into iTunes. It became what was called the interactive liner in iTunes, and it lived for about a year until it died. It was killed because it had Flash inside it, so Apple killed it. Anyone ever heard of anything like that before? Well, interestingly enough, that was the first time that happened, and it was a very meaningful lesson to me, and a very big precursor of things to come. Hey, I just want to notice that the clock is not working, so I'm going to take Richard's lead and see what happens. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. Let's build a format for all this content to live again, right? Because iTunes really showed more than anything that everything was going to become digital. And that one day it would be more than just pictures. I mean, it would be more than just music and movies. So I started working very intensely on this idea. And I started building all kinds of different ideas for how content could live in this space. And I built trading cards and movies and just I'm a rapid prototyper. And when I find an invention or I find a little hack in which I can work, a platform that I can sort of build around, I go kind of nuts around it. And I just keep prototyping, keep building. And this was 2005, and from 2005 to about 2007, I started bringing this to people and started showing it to people. And everyone was like, wow, that is totally amazing, but it is totally doesn't mean anything. I mean, like, there's nothing I can do to make that, to monetize that, to bring that into the world. And my parents looked at me and they were like, no one seems to find a way to be able to, buy this stuff. So why don't you work on stuff that, that you can actually sell? And I didn't. I kept focused. I believed that one day all this content would be sold again. And then something really amazing happened. Actually, two things. Well, these devices started coming out, and the economy crashed, sort of in that order. And suddenly, what I realized was that all this stuff that we'd been building was actually not for a little finger that goes like this, but was actually for a screen like this. And this happened right about the time that the App Store happened, that suddenly it was possible to actually build these types of ideas for content. And I immediately started a company with a great entrepreneur and brilliant technologist named John Lima. We started a company called ScrollMotion. And over the last 2 years, since April 2008, we've been out building platforms for all kinds of content. We started in the book space this is Iceberg, which is our text reader for books. This is the first place we started. This was in September. This was in Christmas 2008. I launched a product with Random House, Simon & Schuster, Hachette, Penguin, every major publisher I brought to the App Store with this platform, and this is Iceberg. And Iceberg is, first of all, it's paginated, right? So what do you keep, what do you throw away? You keep the page turn, you throw away the page turn. Well, pages, probably you keep, right? So that we can, listen, how am I going to know where we're talking about? Like if you say it's page 61, I need to actually go to page 61, and if I change the font size, that cannot change what page 61 means. It's very important. Okay. So this is where we started. We basically built the entire feature set. I went to all the publishers in, October of 2008, as the market was absolutely crashing. I'd be sitting in meetings, and the TV would be on, and CNN would be talking, on mute, and it'd be like 500 points down, and the people I was looking at would just look at the thing, and because of that major disruption, we were the little mice running around the dinosaurs, being like, hey, we've got an idea. It's going to be okay. Because the app, more than anything, the app is the innovation of the iPhone, right? The app is the digital, the monetary unit of content. Now, what the web never did was actually create transaction. The web relied on the fact that it had to be free. Because at the beginning of the web, there was no way that technology was ever going to actually work if it was not free. So the app reclaimed what content means, and it made it so that it could be basically bought and sold, and that's really the brilliance of Steve Jobs. And add to that multi-touch, add to that a completely new interaction to what it means to actually engage with media, and that is touch. So this is an early product, but basically it shows sort of an idea for how we imagine this stuff. This is all the things that you'd expect. We actually designed the feature set that has been used by everyone else in this space, from iBooks to iTunes. I presented this at the Worldwide Developer Keynote. But I want to actually go a little bit further than this, because this is our first product. I want to show you our new product. And this is, so we build platforms. And we're the only company that has run the table on print content. And that means everything from a lowly trading card all the way to print books to text to kids books. So I launched with Sesame Street and Mr. Men, and this is a whole. We're the largest developer of kids book content inside the App Store. This is a book called Guess How Much I Love You. It reads to you, but you're not really able to hear it very well. But you move through the content by tapping it. So in order for this to work, it cannot be incredibly expensive. We need easy tools that are going to be used by publishers that are going to make this a no-brainer, or content is going to go away, right? We're not going to, if it costs me $1,000, $10,000 to convert one title into a digital book, we're going to lose all the books, because especially in the economic climate that we're in, we have to build scalable solutions. So this is just another one of those ideas. It's a very simple idea for how you can actually how you can make children's content. We work for companies like Sesame Street and Houghton Mifflin Harcourt and big media companies, all basically taking their books and bringing them into this space. And this is another cool feature that we have. It reads to you, but we also add the ability to record your own voice. So, little nut brown hare who was going to bed. Little nut brown hare who was going to bed. So basically, content becomes much more meaningful when it is actually made personal. And this is some of the stuff that we do to make it personal. But the thing I really want to show you is the most recent product that we just came out with, and it came out last week, and it's our first iPad product. We're in the process of re-upgrading all of our products for the iPad, but this is the first digital textbook used inside public schools in California, and it went live last week in a test for 500 students. And this is not just a PDF, textbook, but actually a fully integrated curriculum. And this is what it is. And Richard, no pages, no turning pages, all designed around chunks, right? Because you don't need to turn pages in a textbook. You just need to know exactly what you need to know in that section. And it's fully interactive. So that means things like, obviously, video, but also things like tests and quizzing built into the thing. So here is every couple problems, there's a way to actually take little quizzes inside. But rather than just do multiple choice, we also have this whole little way of showing your work and creating stuff, check your answer, etc. We also have, I come from the learning disability school, meaning that when I look at math, it is just math. It's just numbers to me. So I thought about how can we actually simplify and take math and make it a little bit easier to understand. And what we did was we brought ScrollMotion to the experience. And this is a math example, and you just bring your finger down, and it actually shows you how to do it. So how can we simplify? How can we focus? How can we make easier to understand so that books are not just for the rabbits, but also the turtles, and I being one of those turtles. This also has things like, here's another example. Here is a guided practice. Every other problem in the book has a little button that you can just press and actually reveal the answer of that problem. There is things like really nice tools. This is a graphing calculator built into the book. This is a live algebra tiles book. So it's like this is a way in which they teach algebra now in schools. And it's completely new. It's completely being tested right now. Every single quiz, every single thing that the student does, it's reported back to a teacher server where the teachers can look at how the student is doing in real time. And as I'm running out of time, I just want to show you one more thing, and it's a very special thing. Can you bring out the Woogie, please? So one of the things that we also do is we also design products. And one of the things about doing a kid's product is I got very tired of hearing the question, why would I hand a $500 device to a child? And I came up with an answer. And the answer is a Woogie. And that this is the first huggable iPhone case for children. And it's designed to make the experience of technology a little bit softer and a little bit more loving for a child. At the same time, allowing content to be found and me to find customers inside a marketplace that is 250,000 pieces of content that I'm fighting for. So I see my time is up. Thank you very much. Really pleasure to be back at BIF. Thank you, Saul.